Good evening, ENG. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to ENG this evening. I'm just going to do the announcements and just take you through what has happened in the last week in the family, in ENG, and in Elite. So I'm going to do it backwards. So I'm going to start with Wednesday. So Wednesday, we actually had a watch party for Adam, who is one of the newest members of ENG, who had his podcast. And we got to watch his podcast and actually see him in action and actually see one of his dreams actually come true and actually have his podcast streamed live. And that was obviously through Pastor David as well, through his connection with Red Bull. So that was really exciting to see that and see someone actually have and use the platform that we've actually built here. Thursday, we actually had our 120 service, which was amazing. And that was really good, of course, to be back together again, having a 120 service and hearing the word from PT. And on Friday, we joined with the other community units in the nation, CNG and Lovers and Inspirers, and we had the Merge, which hosted an open mic night, and we saw some of the talent that's come from our previous open mics come and showcase their talent. And of course, our very own rockstar Leslie did his thing, of course, as he usually does. He doesn't need any prep. That man is on go all the time. So it was amazing to see him obviously come out and showcase his talent to the rest of the family. And also the winners of that open mic night, so Leslie was one of them. So we actually hosted a breakfast for him yesterday and some of the rest of the winners just before service. And who loved service yesterday? Service was amazing. Of course, we loved the amazing backdrop, of course, from our very own Pastor Daniel, head of creativity here. It was a beautiful backdrop. And yeah, just seeing, obviously, we saw the SPAC Nation Belgium obviously speak to us and actually just show their own knowledge of the nation, asking PT questions and interviewing him. And it was really lovely to see that as well. Of course, we got to hear from PT and just obviously just have a nice time as a family again. And so I'm just going to also just let you know what is coming up in this week and the following week. So next week, Monday, we will be having an ENG Games Night, social night. So I hope we're all excited for that. And also this actual Friday, we'll be also having, the Merge will actually be having another social this Friday. So if you want to attend, please message us, or anyone here would like to attend, please speak to one of the leaders here at the front. And of course, it is Christmas time. Christmas time is coming. And as usual, in the Elite family, we're always very well known for our Christmas events and that events period. So we are, of course, going to have a Christmas themed party at some point in the next few weeks. So, of course, I hope we're looking forward to that. But that is all. Of course, you know, the regular things that will happen usually during the week. So Tuesdays, we have our evenings with Pastor Nikki, who gives us the word. And then obviously we will have our covenant service on Thursday. And Sunday, I think are we having services Sunday? Well, it's to be confirmed, but you know, you'll find out from us. But that is all from me. And that's all the announcements for tonight.
Good evening, ENG. Okay, this is my favorite part of today's service, which is the debate night. I believe, or the debate section. 3 weeks ago, we kicked off our Keep the Dream Alive campaign. I don't know why Pastor James is looking at me like that. It's very, anyway. 3 weeks ago, we kicked off the Keep the Dream Alive campaign with our debate sessions. So we had I believe we asked questions regarding money and power. And I believe 3 weeks ago was very successful. We had a lot of the young ones actually engaging in serious conversations about their community as well, which as always is very important. So today we are going again. And today's question is very interesting, actually. It's not a question. Today's notion is very interesting. So the notion is, should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur, or is a 9-to-5 still a valid path to success? Should I read the notion again? Should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur, or is a 9-to-5 still a valid path to success? So like we did before, we're going to split the room into two groups. I don't think we need to move around. I think we can just go one side and the other side. So Yeah, so what we'll be discussing is, do you believe that everyone should aim to be an entrepreneur, or is a 9 to 5 sort of successful a valid path to success? So which side should be for and against? Flip a coin. I haven't got a coin on me. So this side will be for everyone aiming to be an entrepreneur. Is that okay? And this side, before they say I'm biased again, and this side, a 9 to 5 will be for the 9 to 5, if that makes sense. Yeah? Is that clear? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, so we have about 8 minutes for the segment to discuss the notion, and then we can go from there. Yeah, basically. Not keys. Like Frank Ocean.
Dangerous man. Okay, I am
I don't like 9 to 5.
the reason why not.
Oh, we said this.
I feel like 9 to 5 is a stepping stone. I think while someone is in a 9 to 5, I think they find themselves a little bit. So maybe realize what they actually want to do.
Yeah.
For others, they like staying in a 9 to 5 for like 60 years. But I don't know.
Some people have tried like entrepreneurialism. Like there was one lady that I knew. She ran a platform, basically helping creatives get into the creative industry. And she literally was like building a platform, and then literally she traveled one day. She's like, I can't do this anymore. I have to find myself in a place that I have structure. Like I can't depend on not having an income every month. Like obviously, as much as I'm passionate about what I'm doing, if I don't have that structure, if I'm trying to live life and fly, like I can't actually survive like that. So some people actually genuinely need that structure. Is it a path to success? I mean, it depends what you define success as. I mean, like as a doctor, they need a 9 to 5 technically to become a doctor. You can't have an up and down life as a doctor. You can't be choosing to pick and choose. I mean, if you have that, I mean, you can. I guess you can, but I think you need that because again, your business wouldn't really like function, so to speak, if you were to live. I think you can only do that when you reach a certain level, but you actually need 9 to 5 to actually get there. That's the thing. Because even a doctor will need 9 to 5 to even be at a point where they can pick and choose what appointments they want to be doing, and if they have an option to just do one client today and not no client tomorrow.
No, like organics should go around. So okay. I think not everyone is designed to be an entrepreneur. Some have really good, some people like you see a lot of the entrepreneurs were like the people that got the lowest grades, oftentimes maybe in school, but then they employed the ones that got the A stars and the top grades. So I think some people are more wired to work within a system. Some are created to create a system, if that makes sense. Again, the question: can a 9 to 5 get to success? You can climb up a ladder. So you see the one-off stories. Okay, I worked at Costa Coffee, then I worked the way up to be a store manager or McDonald's. It can work. It's necessary for discipline, similar to like last week we were saying is uni important or whatever it was, because you need a structure to learn from, like, and to be involved in. Otherwise, you have nothing to replicate into the bigger space and whatnot.
We are
For 9 to 5,
Well, I mean, let's read the question again. Should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur, or is a 9 to 5 a valid path to success? So I think we're kind of, so they're for that everyone should aim to be an entrepreneur. We're saying that not everyone should aim to be an entrepreneur. That the 9 to 5 is still a valid pathway to being successful.
For me, I think everyone cannot be an entrepreneur.
I agree.
Because if even that's not what the notion says, so like should everyone aim? No, because if everyone is an entrepreneur, who's going to be running like the that require like more time than the 9 to 5. Because if you're doing a job by yourself, you do it with your own timeline. So at any time when you want to like be active, you want to be active at certain times. But with the 9 to 5, you know from this time to this time, it's time for production. You're going to be productive during like a certain amount of time. But with the entrepreneurial like stuff, you decide when you want to work, and your service might be needed at a certain time, and you're not available. For me, it's with the idea of being successful, like she said, it depends on what you see as success. So since we are talking about 9 to 5, I think 9 to 5 is needed, and it's very important because like I said already, it's needed because the times where an entrepreneur is not available, there should be someone doing something, and in different areas, the 9 to 5 would be there because you know between this time and that time, there's someone available to do.
So what do you think? So if I'm sure you say entrepreneur. If you was to pick out the two, what would you pick?
At the moment, we are talking about 9 to 5.
Yeah,
so we're
yeah.
picking 9 to 5. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're
Actually, so much of fact, in like looking at your current circumstance right now, entrepreneur or 9 to 5, if you had to pick one right now,
one right now,
which one would you pick?
Entrepreneurship, if the structure is there. If I have a structure that is going to like bring the success as an entrepreneur, I'm definitely going to choose it because there's no way I'm not choosing it if the structure is good. But if you know the structure is not, why would I choose something that I know the structure will lead me to failure if there's no success?
Okay, so like, what would we say are like the benefits of like working in a 9 to 5 and the benefits of being an entrepreneur? Because I'm guessing the reason why people want to be, some people are looking at more being an entrepreneur.
I think that's where it shows that there's more of a need for people to actually explore that entrepreneurial side. And I think what even PT has given us in 2022 was the opportunity for people that are in 9 to 5 workspaces to actually exercise that entrepreneurial side, in the sense of him saying to all the corporates that now it's time for you guys to become consultants within your group. If you really look at that whole structure of a consultant, in actual fact, that is the start of an entrepreneur. You're selling your services, your key skills of what you've learned.
I just feel like it's such a difficult point because if you are an entrepreneur and you build a business, you're going to want to work.
Yeah.
So that's why I find it such a difficult. Because can you imagine that you need to create a base of workers and then the worker wants to become an entrepreneur? It's just going to be annoying.
Yeah, but it says, the question says like, should everyone aim to be
That's actually a good,
No, we are saying everyone should.
Yeah.
Turbulence comes.
It doesn't mean that they will.
The turbulence that is coming,
Yeah.
only people with certain skills. For example, let's say service stations now, and we go outside and something kicks off, and you have to run at least 5 miles before you stop. So the answer is everybody should aim to be fit because you don't know when it's going to kick off. Yeah, because if you can't run, if the guy carrying the gun or the machete comes to you, you're finished. And it's only because you never aimed to be fit enough to run at least 2 miles non-stop. So that's what the argument really should, so everybody should aim to be an entrepreneur because the skill set of an entrepreneur is incredible.
I think we could even look at this. You could break this down into 2 sections. Should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur? Yes or no? And it says, or is a 9 to 5 still a valid path to success? That's yes or no. But if you look at that like that, should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur? You can even say yes.
So that's what we're saying.
However, some people don't have the I don't know. Some people have the, I won't say the faculty. I'll say faculty for lack of a better word.
Okay, look at this. Look at the way to look at the question. Should everyone aim to do research before they go for a job interview? What's the answer? Exactly. So there's no to it. Yeah. Because that research puts you in a better position. No will not put you in a better position. So there's no point considering or thinking of it as a yes or no question. Yeah.
Or maybe what we can do as well with this, to show that we're well versed, we can say yes. Should everyone aim to be? So aiming is the sort of process. You wouldn't start off as a entrepreneur. However, let's say for example, you've even said to yourself, because even PTs encourage people, go back to work, understand your you can't just wake up and be an entrepreneur because of the fact that there's so many structures and skills that you will learn. There's so many structures and disciplines rather you would learn from actually working 9 to 5. So yes, you can start off on a shape over 9 to 5. However, the aim should be you should be an entrepreneur.
Remember, anybody who has a skill or the mindset of an entrepreneur who is in 9 to 5 will outperform everybody else.
True.
Because they will think quicker, they will be proactive, they will be problem solvers, they will be mediators. There are so many things they will be. Remember when PT will always say he used to mobilize for service, do things by himself, get instruments, carry whatever, set up by himself. So it's because he has that, in quotes, he is an entrepreneur. He's not somebody who will say, what am I doing today? I'm clocking at 9 to 9, exactly 9, and by 5 they clock out. And during that time, looking at the roadmap today, it's just like textbook. You know what I'm saying? So that's what is there, whatever. If let's say the water whatever breaks, they're not going to even say it's a jam somewhere. They won't attempt to get it going. That becomes an issue. Like if you live in a house, like you all live in a house, or somebody reminds you, you know that you're mad. Because if the entrepreneur, you know that he's out getting things fixed, setting things up. I remember when I went to
Owning your own thing. I think that's like what today's day and age looks at. Success is you own your own thing. It's the same with like houses.
Yeah.
You define success by owning a house. And PT like posed a really good question the other day. What's the difference between someone that has a mortgage and someone that has a council house?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
They're getting benefits.
The only difference is you can say you own the house, and the other person is not owning the house.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually a good conversation because it gets us thinking on what actually is success, or what do we actually define as success. If that makes sense.
I think it also depends on the company. Because some people, if you're in the best company, you're in a like fun company, you get like if you're working in Google, like you're gonna think that's the height of success. Like if you try and build something by yourself, you're kidding. But yeah, if you try and say I'm working in a Google, I get all of these benefits. I get my healthcare, I get free food every day. They pay me a great salary. I get to go on trips.
Okay, should we take
remote work.
I was about to say
How long did
we
it
all
take
looked
her?
at
60 bags.
so we all looked at success as a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Until Apostle Bookie entered something new into the conversation that someone working in a 9 to 5
Can actually become a chief.
can be paid
Traveling.
crazy money, have
And
your house
travel.
paid for, your
Yeah.
car paid for, and all you're just doing is breathing. You understand? Do you know what I'm saying?
Making sure
I mean, she didn't. She had to
Of
work.
course, it's not just breathing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I feel like I think once again success is limited to once again our surroundings.
Yeah.
So like literally, but like until possible, even me, I said, I'm going back to bro. Like, when I started hearing possible, I said I'm
Maybe I
going back
should
to
go
the
to
corporate
insurance.
world. I even said insurance. I said, bro, I'll be good on the phone. I don't even know what they did there, but literally, Because one, even as like my own thing, which would be trading, even if I become a good trader, like even 60K a month, I'm even thinking, well, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, is it sustainable, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, because it's got its ups and downs, but that is like someone that's as a trader, you viewed as like a top entrepreneurial trader making 60K every single month.
So when I think of like my parents, for instance, if you were to pose a question like this to them, they will probably just work a 9 to 5 because it just brings them money now. For my mum to then start, because I grew up with my mum trying to do odd jobs. Like she worked, she hated working. She would start doing hair, start doing nails. She was doing the odd bits and bobs. But
my stepdad, for instance, he had money coming in all the time where he's with her. If she doesn't go out to go into someone's face, or if she doesn't go and have this conversation, if she doesn't call up somebody, if she's not on somebody, she's not making money, regardless of, you know, the craft that she has. It's very interesting though, because I feel like this question posed to different generations, or if it's millennials or whatever, they would answer all a little bit differently, because someone's mum coming from wherever years ago, success is, the fact that I even got a job is success in itself. It's not even that the job paid, the fact that I've got a job and I'm able to keep the job, whether it's a cleaning job, whatever it may be, that for them is success. So when you're growing up and you're a creative, you know, person, and you're growing up in such households, to now say you want to be an entrepreneur is like taboo, because it's like, excuse me, an entrepreneur, do you know what that is? And that's a whole level of, to be fair, I feel like you need to be more disciplined to be an entrepreneur than work a 9 to 5. Because at least in 9 to 5, if you start work at 9, you get up at a certain time, whatever. Entrepreneurship, sorry, you actually need to like get up. Like there's and even your getting up doesn't.
It's not enough.
It's not even enough.
But that's the thing. I feel like 9 to 5 provided the structure for entrepreneurs, because if you didn't realize that I have to wake up early to get certain things done, or certain things done, because you almost need the system of a 9 to 5 to make your entrepreneurship work, because you have to have a knowledge of how that system works to know that, okay, if this is the period of time that people are doing this or whatever between 9 to 5, whatever I do has to affect this. You have to have an almost.
Or you have to work even more than them.
Yeah.
You have to work more than them. It's actually crazy.
Face more rejections.
But I feel like it's good for people to actually taste what a 9 to 5 is like before going on the path of wanting to become a.
I think, like I said, it's similar to the question last week. You need some form of a schooling system.
Yeah.
You ever went through primary school, then.
But you don't think 9 to 5 is the schooling system for entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
It is.
Everyone has.
Because I feel like, once again, based on the demographics that you grew up here, we just believe you start off at entrepreneurship. But you see, for more successful families, it's like they force you down the education system into a 9 to 5, and then catapult from your 9 to 5 into entrepreneurship. Obviously, here it's just like, because I think like we're looking for quick money. That's so. Even when you're saying it's delayed gratification, the reason we go into entrepreneurship is because we're trying to make money quick. Do you know what I'm saying? 9 to 5, you can never make money quick. Like ideally, it's not, unless if you're doing sales, like tech sales or something.
Commission.
Yeah, or
I
commission.
feel like there's elements of 9 to 5 that can be a bit entrepreneurial depending on the type of job you had. Like for instance, when I was like, I think I was 19, I worked for Victoria's Secrets, and the concept of the job is you get your base salary, but you get commission from sales. And every part of the day we had targets that we had to hit, and they would shout out on the mic who's hit certain targets. So it builds that entrepreneurial competitiveness and spirit in an individual to want to make more than their base salary, because at the end of the month you're laughing. It was an American company, you hardly get taxed on commission. It was great. So I think certain jobs can create that entrepreneurial spirit in somebody.
No, I was gonna say, even with the delayed, even 9 to 5, you have to wait to the month end.
That's long.
before you get And being an entrepreneur, it's like you know what's coming in.
Yeah.
So with the thing about delayed gratification, it depends
On the thing, it's still
It's
very
waiting
true.
at the end of the month for like £2. And the thing is, even before the money has come, you've already spent it. It's already gone. Okay, groups, we've got 5 minutes left for this segment.
Come through, sir.
We know somehow would have do that again.
So, but you've kind of gone from like, you've kind of doing like a 9 to 5, but you've almost kind of gone into entrepreneurship in a way as well.
He's even looking at
You're
against them.
You're a real case study of this question. Because obviously you kind of come from like a 9 to 5 to go into like entrepreneurship in a way as well. So like, what do you think? So what do you think? Do you think you needed the 9 to 5 to be an entrepreneur?
Yes and no, it depends.
Why would you say no? The reason I asked that is because I know the business that you're in. Because we both worked in that business. But I don't think you would have been able to do that business if you didn't work as a 9 to 5 business.
If I had a team,
So you think without the knowledge of working where you work, you wouldn't have been
just have that mindset of wanting to become an entrepreneur.
No, not you being an entrepreneur, but do you think you'd be a successful entrepreneur? Like, let's say you never spent 2-3 years working the drink as a 9 to 5.
I think I needed that. What do you think? I need that. But some people they won't need that. The environment will be different.
Especially for that business.
That's it for some people.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but for your specific.
Even like on society,
Because even now you're inducting demoralized. If you didn't work in that now, with the cleaning.
I think in our houses, every Saturday, African phrases on there.
Ready? Okay, groups, just start rounding up your points and deciding on your speakers.
Jennifer. You're only speaking to us, just standing up.
You will be addressing all your stuff.
You should not burn this jacket. You should not burn the jacket. It looks better with the button.
I agree with whatever you say. Right? We nominate. We need to see some videos.
Which ones?
You want me to say yes, isn't it? She wants me to say yes. Okay. Just for that, I'll say no.
Who's messaging you? How do you know so?
After, no, because our son's like, we need to take these off.
If that shocks you, then you need to get around.
Reckon he said, why is
You
she
know
not
I
here?
don't need that.
Why is she not here to speak to you face to face?
Thank you, my PA is here.
What? Come and get it.
Who's coming up from this team?
Every
Is Beverly Stone?
Was it one person?
Charging? Yeah.
Was it one person?
No, two.
I'm up next. It doesn't make sense to go twice. We say you should be an entrepreneur.
So definitely, I believe she come out. Why not? Well, not today, right?
the rain.
You were looking at, you have.
Every chop will be chopped. Every chop will be chopped. Every lamb chop will be chopped.
That's a strong food. Yes, I am. That's a strong food. Why do you think I think
Oh yeah.
What time is she looking? She messaged the forum. Wait, why did she message that story?
Okay, great. If we can put the chairs back to normal, and if both team representatives can come up and stand next to me as we debate the notion. I'm going to read the notion again before we start. Amazing. So can I get the representatives from both teams, please, up next to me? We actually didn't do any team names this time. Chibs. Who else is coming up from this team? Robert, I think you should come up as well. Why can't he go? Don't speak for him. Why is he saying don't go? T, who's coming up from this team?
George, you may as well come on.
George, you know your fault, bro. If we need the 4 minutes, George won't even message anybody.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to read the notion again. Okay, so the notion is, should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur, or is a 9 to 5 still a valid path to success? So this team was for entrepreneurship, and this team was, I guess, against entrepreneurship, but they were also for the 9 to 5. So who would like to go? Yeah, against. So I'm gonna allow Pastor Chibs' team to go first. Ready?
That's the rules. That's the rules. I don't rate it. Huh? In the UK. Such a politician. Because how you argue against for something that's not coming before?
Sorry guys, I'm just replying to one message. I'm kidding. Good evening all. So our team, we are for entrepreneurship, and some of the main points that we raised was the fact that in 2025, what we are actually seeing is that a lot of technology is actually replacing your standard work. For example, if you look at the law space, or even someone that's like an admin, we're seeing that AI is actually replacing a lot of the roles that someone can do in your standard place. Some of the things that we actually also said as well is that, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of things with statistics a little bit later, but we also did say, as an entrepreneur, what you can do through that is actually express yourself. So it's not necessarily as a 9 to 5 where you're just chasing money, getting paid 12 times a year. What you will be doing is that you'll be doing what you actually love and enjoying yourself. So we'll let Ashake go next.
Is that all you got? Great captain you are, mate. Anyway,
We'll land.
so
We'll give you.
the A team.
I said I'll give you guys stats and statistics
So
after.
we are for that 925 is still a valid path to success. Let me start with some stats. 95. Let me. The net shows us that around 30% of new businesses fail within 2 years, 50% fail within 5 years, and roughly 70 to 90% fail within 10 years. So self-explanatory with that, not everyone is built to be an entrepreneur. Some are created to fit into a system, and some people are created to create a system that people can go in. And you can see a lot of stories in history of successful people that maybe dropped out of maybe school, as an example, and they went on to get a job, but then they realized that ain't for them, and then they actually had the know-how to create a system, but they didn't maybe have the best of grades in school, but they employed the ones that had the best grades because they maybe their mind operates better there. So 9 to 5 is the key part with this is it a path to success? I think it's a necessary path. We went through various examples in our group. For example, Pastor Boris, with what he does with elite services, with let's say the deliveries and everything like that, he would have had to fit into actually get hands-on with that system to know how to handle it, the rainy days, the good days, the bad days, etc., in order to know what an employee would feel like and how to create a better environment for them. So I think 9 to 5 is a necessary path to success on this note. I'll leave it there for now. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I think where it says, should everyone aim to be an entrepreneur?
I love my team.
I think where it says everyone should aim to be an entrepreneur, that's absolutely correct. I think we were looking at a statistic and we actually saw that on average, your standard 9 to 5er is paid an increase of about 2 to 5% annually. So if you actually look at the maths, that's nowhere near what the demand of 2025 and the demand of what the nation's actually putting on us. So I actually, oh, no, absolutely. When you look at the whole world and the cost of living, it's absolutely ridiculous.
What's going on here?
Yeah. You look at the cost of living, Pastor George, and if you looked at the news,
That's not my name.
if you looked at the news the other day, and the budgets that were actually released and whatever, you'd actually see that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. The budgets that were released within the UK, it wasn't enough.
So may I ask the budgets, please?
No, we can ask off camera. Thank you. Thank you very much. But but in terms of honestly, what you can do as an entrepreneur, there are so many things that you can do, and the earning power is limitless. I would even take yourself for an example. So, what did you do on Friday, sir? You can pick up your mic.
Oh, I just gathered a few people.
You gathered a few people, but where?
Covent Garden.
In Covent Garden. But thank you very much, sir. So, wow. Thank you, media. Our friends in the media are really friendly today, aren't they? So, honestly,
planned this, I didn't-
honestly, he's on the opposition side, but what Pastor George does is actually quite substantial for a 9 to 5 to actually create something, a pay scheme to pay him. Pastor George, what he does on a day-to-day basis, you see that this is a model, this is a doctor, this is a pastor leader, this is a guy that is he has a social media following of over 200K. He's gathered people. What, in actual fact, you can't pay 2K for that, for what you do. You can't even pay 10K for that. So that's what I'm even trying to say. As a 9 to 5er, it puts you in a very binary system, as in yes or no. There's no exponential growth in that. So that's why we're actually attacking 9 to 5, and we're actually saying, look, in years to come, what we actually want to look and find is that there are entrepreneurs in every single space. I myself, no, thank you. I'm a thank you, man, word charge. I'm a chief cardiac physiologist. I've been so for 10 years. However, the family that I've been introduced to, I was given the opportunity.
Okay, ref.
I was given the opportunity.
Ref.
I was given the
VAR,
opportunity.
VAR.
I'm gonna land on this, and I'll let Cisco go. And I think I was given the opportunity to actually become entrepreneurial. PT actually said to the corporates, in actual fact, what I want to see is that you guys become consultants within your field. What is he saying? He's driving towards the entrepreneurial spirit. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Round of applause. You gonna back him? Oh, sorry, I didn't quite hear you, but I heard you. It was all right. A prime example, since you touched on the family, we have our very own Pastor Bookie. She has redefined for us what...
She's an anomaly. No, thank you. Thank you.
She has...
Yes, as well, with tick.
No.
Yes.
She's a 9 to 5er.
Yeah.
Originally, the path. The path. She didn't tread on 9 to 5er. All right, so I think... Should I lend these carties? What we need is 9 to 5 still a valid? Is it still a valid path? The key word is path, people.
Wow.
Yeah, meaning your trajectory, your steps that you are taking. Thank you very much, our friends, because Pastor Bookie, now she's on, what is it, 5 figures monthly, without disclaiming that, and.
Disclaimed. You disclaimed.
No, the exact figure. I didn't say it. Yeah. No. Anyway.
The dog points for this, though.
No, because I'm
This
still
is GDPR.
going. No. So she's on a very. What people would, if people was actually at her point, they would say this is the height of success, because success can be defined case by case. But if the Civil War.
Are you joining our team now?
Yeah, so you've mentioned, of course, the 9 to 5. So I've brought in Pastor Bookie as a case study to show that what she's done to get to the point she's at, she's had to learn a 9 to 5 structure within insurance. And no one can actually, she wouldn't have been able to get to the height she's at and where she's going with now starting what we call TIC, which is an entrepreneurial platform now. But she started with the 9 to 5 structure. And we've heard countless times when PT has mentioned where she may have got fired from different jobs. What do? We come back to basics, we go again. And then she went and reapplied. And of course, things aligned in a better way for her. But I think our gripe towards this, saying 9 to 5 is still a valid path to success, overstands what you have shared so far, sir. Huh? She's still within that.
When did you become a lawyer?
Have you got the question?
I'll come back to you after, sir. Sorry, sir.
Thank you very much.
This is Nigeria United, though.
All right, so using Pastor Bookie as an example, or anyone who is in 9 to 5, what we're saying, because the question says, should everyone aim to be? Not whether you should now go and start a business. It's aim to be. I guarantee you, any excellent staff who works 9 to 5, anyone who is exceptional as a 9 to 5, has an entrepreneurial spirit. Because they're not robots who just clock in. So they should aim to be. Now, let me change that whole scenario with what we looked at. If we finish today and we go outside as we're going and it kicks off, and you have to run at least 2-3 miles before you run away from the danger that kicks off, the question then will be, should everyone at least aim to be fit? Yes or no? Should everyone aim to be fit? Yes or no? So everybody should be fit in order to escape that danger, because they have to run at least 1 mile or 2 miles. So everywhere in 9 to 5, don't leave 9 to 5, but aim to be an entrepreneur within that space. Wow. You will be an excellent 9 to 5er. Wow. Drop mine.
I agree. Okay, we'll
What'd you say?
Never.
What, combat it?
Go on,
Combat it. I don't know. So to respond to Pastor Daniel's point, of course, it's not an issue. Of course, the people that you mentioned, like you said, can still achieve success being in a 9 to 5. But I don't think it's being an entrepreneur. I think it's the qualities an entrepreneur possesses that makes them a success. But it's not also locked into just being an entrepreneur. Because I think you can still have a lucrative mindset but not be an entrepreneur. It's just, again, how you use that in your field to, again, make you successful. Again, even being successful in a 9 to 5 isn't also about how much money you make. Again, it depends on your definition of success as well. Because if we're capping it based on you being lucrative or you being successful as in how much money you make, then, of course, we will obviously say an entrepreneur is more of the more preferred option. But if we're basing success on actually having, I guess, influence, if we're saying having being successful is being at the very top of your company or working for the biggest companies in the world, then that's what we could say success. And 9 to 5 makes it a valid path to get to that point of success. So again, I think if we are focusing on what makes it more of a valid path, again, 9 to 5 as I was mentioning to our team, is that again, as an entrepreneur, it's very uncertain as well. It's not a guaranteed path. Again, being an entrepreneur is, again, one way that we can see is, again, it's unrestricted, but at the same time, as a 9 to 5, we can see a very clear path. Again, it's always down to the individual as to how you get to that success. But at the same time, as an entrepreneur, as much as you can imitate someone, you may not also possess the qualities to become successful. You can still be an entrepreneur and say, okay, I want to get to this point and I want to be as big as Jeff Bezos. You can copy the exact same thing he does. But again, if you don't have the qualities or even the know-how in yourself to actually do those things, you may not be successful. So
Can I ask you a question?
oh God.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So you said money doesn't necessarily define success.
No, I'm saying it depends on your definition of success.
Your definition
Yeah.
of success. Okay, cool. So let's say, for example, your definition of success is not money. No. Permit me to say that. I'm asking you a question. No. I'm asking you a question. I'm actually asking. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. So
No, yeah, finish your
So
point.
what I'm trying to say is, okay, because remember that too. No,
But some millionaires don't even wear. They wear G-Shock.
but come and see that.
Successful.
What I'm trying to say is
They can live in a shack and still be
because one of our main points, of course, with for being an entrepreneur was the financial freedom, but then also the ability to express yourself. But then you also spoke about, obviously, as a 9 to 5 and success, we wouldn't necessarily connotate money as success. So
not that you won't. I'm just saying it depends on the individual.
and then you then said working for a big company, that could be someone's success. Can I ask you a question? Is McDonald's a big company?
If you're working at the head of a McDonald's, yeah, you can. It is a big company.
No, but
100%.
McDonald's
It's a very big
in
company.
whatever part.
Do you know what McDonald's
Wait,
is?
let me.
Go on.
It's a yes or no question. McDonald's is a big company, isn't
It's a
it?
very big company.
In whatever part of the hierarchy that you work in, isn't it?
What do you mean in whatever part?
So let's say, for example, if you're working in the front store, it's still a big company, isn't it?
You're talking about position, not the company.
No, but you
are.
said no, but Jen, it's a big company, no?
It's a very
Cool.
big company.
Okay, so McDonald's is well, so McDonald's is a big company. Yes or no, guys?
100%. It's a big company.
Yes. Thank you very much. So what I'm trying to say is you're trying to say somebody could be satisfied as working as somebody in a 9 to 5.
No, that's not what you're asking. You're twisting the words.
How am I not?
How can you say? So no, wait, hold on. Hold on.
No, but I'm giving you an example. It's a big
Hold on.
company now.
Hold on. If I own. No, but if you can
your
say
boss
this,
case, you know.
but you can say, okay, in your hospital, is it better to be the person that owns the hospital or the person that's the average nurse?
No, but I'm using what you
It's
exactly
not
what you
the
said.
biggest hospital in the world, is it? But to be at the top of it, is it not
No,
a
but I'm
success?
using exactly what you said. You
No,
said
you're not. You're twisting it. You're twisting it.
Did I?
You're
I
saying
twisted.
You're twisting it. It is twisting it because you're talking about a success of a company and being in a position.
You
No,
said.
listen, I never said that. I never said whatever position you play in a company means you're successful.
He said working as part of a company.
No, I mean as in no, I never said that. As in if you and
No, but you didn't specify.
No, if you work as part of the biggest company in the world.
But you didn't specify though.
Huh?
Okay, cool.
But you're
this
reading
thing, This thing, did she specify? Did she
You're
specify?
twisting it, though.
Did she specify?
But you're twisting it though.
Did she specify?
Do you want me to specify?
Okay, no, but you can't specify now that I've made my point.
No, it isn't because you're choosing to twist it. That's why.
No, because you said what you said.
You're choosing to twist it. Okay.
What's the separation of the argument?
Oh, but
Is it? No, I'm half tempted to move on though.
Yeah, conclude if you need to conclude.
Should we just move on? So I think just responding to both Pastor Chibs and Pastor Daniel.
You're not meant to be biased though, bro.
I'm not being biased. I was on a team today. I was on a team.
You want a team to be?
I was on a team today. Yeah. So I think my only thing I would say is where I won't agree with Pastor Daniel is where he said everyone should aim to be an entrepreneur, because not everyone is an entrepreneur. So I don't think everyone should aim to be an entrepreneur. I believe entrepreneurship is actually a personality trait. it's not just something that everybody can do, and we've seen that time and time again. I think the point we was making with Pastor Bookie was actually, because it says, is 9 to 5 still a valid path to success? And actually, as much as I know of the Pastor Bookie situation, because I
put the
can't
keys
speak
on.
entirely, but I believe past PT just told her to focus on being the best in where she was working. I don't think he told her to be an entrepreneur where you're working. He just said, be the best. But like I said, that's why I said I'm speaking to the best of my ability. Yeah, so yeah, I can't tell you the exact conversation, but I believe she was just, pardon? Well, I mean, but as far as I'm aware, from the conversations I've heard with the interviews on stage, that's always been the notion. Yeah, that's you got what I'm saying. So I'm referencing. So yeah. So
I can't share this stage with this man.
okay.
It's politics.
So the point I'm trying to make is that success otherwise would define success as one thing. So I think the point we were saying here is for for people that come from certain backgrounds, we will value or look at success as being an entrepreneur because we just want to own something. But actually, we had a deeper conversation and saying that actually, when you see maybe more affluent families, they actually push their children into the 9 to 5 system because, why? Because it's a system and it's a structure, and their own. Of course, but what we're saying is, which is fine. No, what we're saying, PD. So what we're saying is, so what we are saying, which stats? Okay. That's fine. So what we were saying is that success is actually identified differently. And we're saying that actually someone that gets to the top of their industry can still be valued as success. So if, as an example, if you're creative and you get to the top of, I don't know, Warner Brothers or these kind of institutions, you're still very, very successful. If you're in trading and you get to the top of a Barclays Bank or a HSBC, although you are in the 9 to 5 system, it's actually more successful than somebody that's started an entrepreneurial business trading called Tafara and trading, if that makes sense. So we actually had a deeper look and saw that actually most people avoid 9 to 5 because the success or the entry level to success is higher than becoming an entrepreneur, because as an entrepreneur, you can define your own success. Whereas in 9 to 5, it's very clear and evident what success is because it's the top of the food chain where people don't actually want to get to the top of that food chain. So I think that's what we identified, that actually people look at entrepreneurship as an easy way out rather than striving to be the best at what they do in a 9 to 5 system. So that was the point that we was making. So we're saying someone like a Pastor Bookie climbed to the top of the 9 to 5 system, and as a result of that was also able to have an enterprise, not because she was looking to be an entrepreneur, but she became the best at what she does. So that was our statement. PD is not impressed. Any rebuttals? Was that fine? No, it's fine. Yeah, okay. That was beautiful.
Okay, that's that's funny though. Okay, that was amazing. Who enjoyed that session? I think these conversations are very important because not only do we get to obviously hear from people that don't naturally speak in ENG, but most importantly, we get to engage in conversations that actually matter in our community, things like entrepreneurship and being a part of the 9 to 5 community. So on this basis, I am going to say that the team against, did I write them? Here we go. I'm doing this. So the votes are done. The votes are done on references and they're still going. The votes are done on references and where the facts actually come from. But again, we will continue to have conversations like this, and we'll be bringing it to different communities. I know at the moment we're in Stratford, but next week we could be doing this in Hackney or just any area within East London. But thank you all. That is all from me. I'm going to invite Pastor Tafara to come up.
Good evening, ENG. Good evening. They said that in 2026. They said. I don't understand. Are you going somewhere? Are you going somewhere? Are you going somewhere? For those that are watching from home and are wondering what just happened, Pastor Nikke saw that there was 19 slides. I said, 19 slides. Like she has somewhere to be going. So I thought I'll make you guys aware at home what's happening in here. But of course, today my job is quite simple. I think my job is always quite simple. I've actually been told in 2026 I shouldn't come up and say good evening. So I'm still working on a new introduction. So maybe, no, that's not really right. but good evening works, right? Yeah. See what I'm saying? Of course, let me greet the leaders that might be watching. Of course, let me greet the leadership. The other thing I've been told is that I need to make my greetings a little bit shorter. Pastor Jennifer saying, yeah. But like I said, it's my delight. But anyways, I'll greet the leadership. Of course, our leader, Pastor Nikke, the assistant senior pastor and the senior pastor, Pastor Obi and Pastor Sam. Our mother, Pastor Lucy. And then our father and visionary, our leader, PT. Because Pastor Jennifer's gone over the week, I won't get into that, and I know we're running out of time. So I'm going to take you through the Elite New Gen CIC pitch deck that we're currently working on for 2026. So Pastor Daniel. Isn't this presentation beautiful, by the way? It was great, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So welcome note. So of course, we've got community, opportunity, and impact. That's our catchphrase. Of course, I'll read from the presentation. It says that Elite New Gen, we are focused on developing young people in East London with a primary focus on Hackney. We foster an environment of community, introducing opportunities to create a broader impact. Next slide, please. So about us, our history, we was formed in 2023. It's a little bit July, not October. Well, 2020. October, because we're going back to the Elite 3G, and we've been working within the Hackney community for the last 15 months, anyways. So these are some of the pictures, some of the stuff that we've been doing. You can see many people that we've encountered. Okay, problems. So obviously, we realized that Hackney is facing, obviously, rising crime, high youth unemployment, growing food poverty, and education disengagement. And these are some of the issues and problems that we've decided to tackle as a community. So in 2026, we're actually saying that what ENG is going to become a solution center for all the problems within the Hackney and East London area, because we're just saying we're going to start with Hackney, but we want to be the solution for the whole of East London. So you can see crime, there's 155 crimes per 1,000 people, which is actually one of the highest rates in the whole of London. A rate of 94.8 per 1,000 residents. Well, this report is as of September 2025. So you can see that the crime is still a very, very big factor within East London and Hackney. Of course, unemployment currently shows that there's 12,395 people, or in percentage, 6.5% of people aged 16 to 64 that are in unemployment, and this percentage has been increasing year by year. Of course, then education disengagement, and obviously the data shows Hackney is one of the highest, or has one of the highest rates for pupil suspensions and exclusions within the whole of London City. That's why when you go to Westfield, or when you go to Hackney Central, you're seeing a lot of young people at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Roaming the streets in no school uniform. That's likely because they've been excluded. Of course, food poverty, over 40% of the borough's population are living in income-deprived households. which is actually the third highest rate in the whole of the United Kingdom, meaning that actually food poverty is one of the major issues in Hackney. Next slide, please. So our ethos, of course, like I mentioned, community, which is building unity, belonging, and mutual support among young people. So you can see some of the things that we do. That's our community stuff we're doing. Leadership and mentorship. Okay, I should have changed that, but we'll leave that for now. And then next slide. Okay, ENG fund. This is one of the funds that was created last year as a solution to. Sorry, oh yeah, this year March. I've already entered 2026. Apologies, I keep saying that. So it's literally something that we are using to fund the dreams of people that interact with us in ENG. We're just saying that we're going to create a fund where people can come and actually pitch their ideas, pitch their community initiatives, and we can fund them. And that actually stemmed from the Keep the Dream Alive campaign. Because as much as PT is taking us on a campaign, we're saying that across Hackney, we're going to be the key sponsor for PT, and the tool we're going to use to make sure we achieve that is the ENG fund. So this was one of the dinners that we did earlier on this year, I believe July. This dinner was July, May, and you can see some of the young people, the contributors, some of the people that we are working with. Next slide. Once again, so there's many different tools that we're going to be using all throughout 2026. Like I mentioned, we're going to be using the MES structure, which is the music, entertainment, and sports. And we're just using those tools to engage with many different young people and keeping their dream alive, because there's many people that want to be musicians, many people that want to do different things. So I believe this year we've had about 2 or 3 open mics. So you can see the open mic we had here, many young people. Next slide. Rolling, of course, once again, partnering up with a young individual that comes to ENG, which is Reese. We've actually held about 3 roller skating initiatives in the last 12 months, with obviously the Bethnal Green being the biggest one, the most impactful one. We had over 450 young people in attendance. And of course, we partnered up with Red Bull, which supplied us with over 300 drinks. And what we just did was we created a safe space for young people to come and skate, because one of the issues that we've realized, or one of the things we've decided that, or we've seen, is that when young people don't have a safe place to go to, they turn to the streets. So our job as ENG is to create many safe environments, many safe places or safe spaces where people can come. And you might not be aware, but when they do host, because we're not the only people hosting roller skating events, but the only difference between ours and theirs is when we host, it's a safe space. There's no fights, nothing happens, there's no altercations. It's just a safe space for people can come. So I was actually speaking to a young gentleman who I met at this particular event, and he was saying he's no longer roller skating because it's no longer a safe environment. And he was actually saying, because what's happening is people are fighting at these events, and he was actually saying the last event he went to, that there wasn't a problem, was the event that we did. And that just shows that there's something that we're doing. We have a solution for young people, and we shouldn't stop and we shouldn't slow down. So this is something that we're actually looking to hopefully make a quarterly thing. We also did a takeover at Roller Nation, and then we've done something. What was the third one? Flippers, I believe, before they closed down. But next slide. Okay, and then this is our attendance record, showing our total numbers of people that we're engaging with on a monthly basis. So this shows us from July 24 to June 25, and we can see we started at 200. So this is every Monday added up. So you can see we engaged from July, 200 people. We had a little dip going into September, come back up. Then November, I believe the tours was going on, so we didn't meet much, which is why the heavy drop. Then of course you can see we had a nice steady push from November to February, 300 people attendance, meaning that as the year starts, we're expecting to see a similar kind of projection, maybe not starting from here, but maybe starting from the 200 mark up to 500. So that's what we're looking at this data, and we're actually saying this is what we've been able to achieve so far, and we want to achieve much more. If you go to the next slide. So you can see here, this shows us from July 25 to June 26. So it all starts at July because that's when we did.
Hey, Tads, what to listen?
That's when we did our first service as the community units. So you can see July, once again, we started off quite low. I believe there was a lot of bank holidays and stuff like that, and we didn't meet. But you can see once again, we've steadily climbed up. And obviously, I think you remember on the other one, it shows a very big sharp up, meaning that in the next couple of months, we actually want to see exponential growth. But you can see the amount of people we've been kind of interacting with. And what we're saying is in 2026, we want to make the minimum 500 people that we're meeting with on a weekly basis. That's what we're saying. We're saying that every single month we want to engage with at least 500 young people. And I believe that's what we're all going to come together and do. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are some of the things, of course, the ENG football, we want to pick back up again. Next slide. Next slide. So benefits, our programs have reached over 500 young people, providing guidance, skills, and community support. We've made an acute impact on more than 50 individuals, helping them into education, training, or employment, creating lasting change and real opportunities for growth. And I believe that's what we are actually aiming to do every single individual, that every single individual that comes through our doors will actually, I don't want to say leave, but will actually become better, will actually become a better version of themselves because of the impact that they felt through the guidance, through the leadership of one of the people within the ENG, one of the leaders. And of course, these are some of the pictures. So you can see we go from fine dining to real community work. And it just reminds me of PT when he was saying that he's looking for people that can bridge the gap, that people that can bridge the gap between the two. And I believe that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking people from these settings and putting them in these settings, and then taking people from these settings and putting them into these settings, because we believe if we're able to successfully do that, we'll actually create a better community. Next slide, please. I believe that might be the last thing. Okay, so Wingstop takeover. So once again, we hosted a community takeover at Wingstop, giving out free meals to over 50 local residents. The event brought people together, created positive engagement, and offered a safe, uplifting space for young people to connect and feel valued within their community. You know, we're also looking at creative ways to actually tackle the food poverty. I don't think not everyone wants to be handed a hamper or whatever, but if we can create creative ways of making sure that young people eat. So this might just look like a takeover, but the actual agenda or the heart behind this is making sure that people that might not have had a meal that day have a meal. So that's how we're tackling food poverty. That's how we're actually engaging the community. So it's not just a takeover, it's actually helping somebody that might not have had a meal that day. And believe it or not, this might be something that someone will, or a reason why someone will go and commit crime or not. It might not look like it for us, but for somebody within food poverty, it's actually a major necessity for them. But next slide. So that's been the Elite New Gen presentation or pitch deck. So once again, thank you, the Elite News and team. Thank you, which is all of you. And I thought it was just important to actually share that presentation this evening, because I think as we're getting ready as we're gearing up for 2026, I think PT was saying, I was listening to a scripture that says, preach the word in and out of season. And that scripture, you can just look at it as for preaching in good times or bad times, but PT was speaking about preaching, how he became a preacher. The work he does or he's doing is a preaching. So in and out of season, PT is always winning souls. In and out of season, PT is always making impact, making change. So it was important for me to actually go through that, because I was saying that at the end of the year, people are normally beginning to round down or wind down, and they're reviewing. But we're actually just saying we're just beginning. We're just intensifying our work. We're not slowing down. We're not going into a time of rest, because Scripture says keep doing what you're supposed to be doing in and out of season. I was having a conversation with someone, and they was actually saying that, it looked like we was quietening down, and obviously then the targets came out and they're having to get back on their feet. But actually I said, if you was taking heed to the word that says preach in and out of season, you would have already been prepared, because you would have been doing what you're supposed to be doing out of season. So in and out of season, we're saying that we're going to be winning souls. So whether there is a service on Sunday next week or not, we are going to make sure that we're doing the job we're supposed to be doing. Because in and out of season, what the word is looking for is men and women that don't need to be mobilized, because they're already mobilized. So a PT shouldn't have to come and start mobilizing us for 50 souls, because we would have already been winning 50 souls out of season. I hope that makes sense. So it's the same with our targets as well as money making. We just have to make sure that we are people that are always preaching the word in and out of season, because that's the kind of man that God is looking for. And I believe that's the kind of energy that we're going to have all throughout 2026, is actually making sure that we're just found where the word is looking for us, whether somebody's looking or somebody's not looking, whether there is a target in front of us or there isn't, because we understand that the target has already come out. We already understand the work and the mission that PT has asked for us is already out there. So Keep the Dream Alive campaign and tour has already kicked off for us, because the word has come out. So we're not going to wait for the announcement of the first date is going to be on here. No, we're just saying that we've already started, or we're already starting. So that's all I've come to say this evening, obviously gearing us up and getting us ready for next week. So of course, next week we're going to be having our social location will be out midweek, and we're just saying that we're going to make a statement of having 50 people there. We're going to invite 50 young people, and we're going to have fun. We're gearing up for, I don't want to say the end of the year, but we're gearing up for 2026, because as something is ending, something new is starting. And we're just saying the new ENG, or the new elite, we're starting something new. So as everyone else, not everyone in the family, but as everyone else in the world is sleeping off, we're just becoming more awake. We're just saying that where people are dropping things, we're picking it up. Because young people, they're looking for direction, they're looking for leadership, and we are the leaders that God is raising in this generation. People are looking for direction, they're looking for people to follow. That's what I was looking for, and I believe that's what you was looking for. But the question is just, who's going to be bold enough to show themselves to people that I can be someone you can follow? That's what the word is trying to raise. It's trying to raise people that are bold enough to say to a generation, follow me. Why? Because we follow a Pastor Nikki, who follows a PT, who follows Christ. So I hope you've enjoyed this evening. I've been Pastor Tafara. I'll see you all next week. Thank you.